If it seemed like war yesterday, the reinforcements showed up tonight. At the center of it all, of course, is the bombed-out shell of the federal office building, and in its shadow, the exhausted, who for a day and a half now have sifted through its debris and counted its dead and seen up close why they call it terror.
It's like a garbage pile. It's unbelievable. And everywhere you dig, you find somebody. Everywhere.
It's a very slow, tedious process of removing the debris and extricating the fatalities and searching for survivors. You know, you hope and you pray that every time you turn a stone, there'll be a survivor somewhere. It hurts deep down as to why someone would do something of this magnitude. It's unreal.
It hurts down deep for everyone here. The curious now have come to see it for themselves, and still those who hold out hope come too, even though there is so little hope left.
If anybody knows of anything, this is my mom. She's 47. She's about 5'2" and weighs about 150 pounds. And I'm 22 years old. I'm too young to lose my mother.
Every rock I grab and throw, I'm thinking that our hand is going to reach up through that little hole and say, I'm here, but that hasn't happened so far.
Are there people missing from your office?
Yeah, 26.
You don't know what's happened?
I can look at that building and imagine what's happened to them.
Dr. Rick Nelson spent most of yesterday in the rubble, helping to locate survivors.
I found myself this morning looking back at things and thinking of things that I didn't really think about during the thing, and tears still come to my eyes, for the families.
Few here talk or even think about the investigation. The governor, though, doesn't have that luxury and does think about men who are capable of this.
Well, they're evil, they're cowardly, they're unspeakably shameless.
Rescue workers kept a vigil at the Murrah federal building overnight, but they found no survivors, only destruction and a sense that nothing will ever be the same again in Oklahoma City.
Hundreds of employees, there were certainly hundreds of people visiting the building when the bomb went off at 9 o'clock in the morning. So if you want to destroy innocent human lives, you couldn't pick a better time and a more vulnerable place than this.
Until heavy equipment arrives at the blast site, emergency teams are picking through the rubble of the building brick by brick.
It's just devastation. There's no semblance on any of the floors that are remaining to the office environment, other than you might make a semblance of a desk or a file cabinet. Best guess I got from the team this morning was, after putting their heads together through the night and looking at it, we're probably looking at 4 to 6 days before they can give me any high percentage of assurance that the building is clear.
Federal investigators were on the scene throughout the night, recording hundreds of possible clues. Today, FBI officials said they have yet to rule anyone out.
Information that we're receiving about persons that are being called in about range from every spectrum that you can possibly imagine of the political climate, right wing, left wing, you name it.
Earlier, President Clinton was joined by the president of Brazil at a long-scheduled news conference which quickly focused on progress in the Oklahoma bombing investigation.
I can tell the American people they would be very proud of the efforts which have been made in this area since it occurred yesterday morning. They have been awesome, intense, comprehensive, and dogged.
The investigation continues against a backdrop of increased caution and enhanced security in Washington. A truck parked at the Department of Health and Human Services now blocks the driveway. Police barricades extend perimeters at the State Department and offices adjacent to the White House. Drivers heading into most federal building garages have to produce personal ID in addition to their parking permits. At the Pentagon, where security is always tough, Defense Secretary Perry said the military is assisting rescuers at the bomb site.
So far, the level of support that is being used is the support for the humanitarian effort to help with the injured people, to provide specialized equipment for helping extract people from the wreckage.
But most of the Washington attention late today is on the search for clues to who did the bombing and why. One clue now being reported, the bomb, which may have contained the explosive equivalent of 2,000 pounds of dynamite, was apparently driven in a Ryder rental van. And a suitcase, which arrived in Rome on a flight from Chicago, contained equipment that could be used in bomb making. The person who checked it in late yesterday actually flew to London, where immigration authorities refused him entry and sent him back to the United States.
A day after the world they knew was turned horribly on its head, the memories remain. Devastating memories, life-changing memories.
It hurts deep down as to why someone would do something of this magnitude. It's unreal.
It's really like nothing I've ever seen or been prepared for, and I would have never ever expected anything of this magnitude.
All my friends are missing. I don't know where any of them are.
These women are holding out hope that their friend is still alive. They thought they saw her on TV yesterday, but they can't find her at any hospital.
Can't find anybody who can tell us where she went. We've checked all the hospitals. We've left her picture everywhere. But we really feel in our hearts that was her that we saw.
It's like somebody picked up the building and slammed it back down again. Then there was smoke. People were screaming. Everybody started running.
Meanwhile, the work continues. A mountain of rubble, tons of debris, all burying the tiniest grain of hope.
It's a very slow, tedious process of removing the debris and extricating the fatalities and searching for survivors. You hope and you pray that every time you turn a stone, there'll be a survivor somewhere.
As for those responsible, the governor, who lost a close friend in the blast, has thought some about them.
The vicious animals that did this, their crimes are unspeakable, they're against humanity, they're unforgivable. I mean, this is what is behind us is an act, or was an act of unspeakable horror and tragedy.
They came together tonight at the First Christian Church, residents of Oklahoma City of different backgrounds and faiths, united by a catastrophe and gathering to grieve.
It is a hard reality that we face, and we come together because we need one another.
Throughout the day, the church had served as a center for waiting to hear if missing friends and relatives had been located in the rubble of the Murrah Federal Building. But a meticulous search produced only 3 bodies today, and for some, like Kathleen Traynor, the pain and anxiety grew. Her mother-in-law, father-in-law, and 5-year-old child were in the building.
9 o'clock was her appointment. It's on the first floor. They're still missing. No one's found them. No one's seen them. Their names aren't on any lists.
But it wasn't just those whose loved ones are missing that came to pray tonight. A city that has lived in relative peace was torn apart on Tuesday morning, and many here are grieving.
There's tornadoes when towns are destroyed. We're used to going to the site, being able to help, being able to make a difference to the survivors, and right now there isn't a lot we can do for the survivors.
I'm very frustrated. I want to do something, and sitting home and being angry at whoever did this isn't enough. It's not helping anything.
With time running out to try to locate any victims that still might be alive under the rubble, the power of prayer became most urgent tonight, and hope became the last resort of a community shaken by an unspeakable act.